G'day, Steve Morgan from ABT and Fishing Media, and it's Friday, which means it's Tackle Fridays. Your insight as to what's going on in this office. ABT, Fishing Monthly, used to be Fishing Media now. Boats, tackle, all sorts of stuff. Now, Matthew Osley from Rapala, thanks for holding the camera. This is the ABT prize packing room, which we have activated this week. It is full of stuff. There is prizes from, we've got Daiwa stuff here at the moment. These are Daiwa prize packs that are getting packed up at the moment for all of the non-boaters through there. We've got some cool stuff from My Lure Box there. We've got rods, jig heads. We've got Barra stuff here from Wilson's for the upcoming Mondra and Barra tournaments. But we're not going to be talking about any of that stuff today. We're going to be talking about boats. I've got two boats at the office here. My big boat is down at Yacht Armour. If you hang around till the end, I'll show you a bit of a preview of what's happening to my boat down on the Gold Coast at the moment. Don't get that back till next week. But a boat a lot of people have been asking about is my little P4.5 metre Alloycraft bluefin boat that I took possession of maybe a year ago. It's on an oceanic trailer and it's got one of the new Mercury Avator 35Es. It's nearly set up how I like it, so let's go out and have a look at how it goes. If you're interested in the Avator box, that's the box that they come in. Big box. This is the motor itself. And let's take the motor out and I'll show you how light it is. You can grab it with that little spigot. You can take it out, put it on the boat. Now this 35E, I think it's equivalent to about a 8 or 9 horsepower outboard. So I'm going to take it up the back here, and this is how easy it is to install it on your boat. You drop the spigot in the hole. Let's lift the handle up first maybe. When I say easy, if you've got the handle in the right spot. And there it is. Drops straight in and away you go. This 35E, you hook it up with one of these massive cords. It goes in the side, locks in, and you're ready to go. You can adjust the tiller to the right side handle, turn the J-box on. It is on there. And it sounds just like a Mercury when you turn it on. So this is the boat. We've already done a video on this boat, and when it was unbuilt, had no weight in it, apart from these 4 batteries, 2 under the deck, 2 there, 17 kilometres an hour it'd get down on Hinds Dam. But I was interested in how much gear can I put in it and still retain some speed. So let's go from the front to the back. I'll show you what's actually in this thing. Now, first the trailer. This is a braked oceanic trailer, and you'll notice if you look down the side, you'll see a couple of guards each side that stick up higher than the boat. This is a drive-on trailer for an electric boat. So you can drive it on, have it sit up at the top here, leave it powered up, hook it up, and away you go. So no winching it up like a sucker. This live scope system I've got here, I've got a twin rig up the front sitting on a ram mount. I normally wouldn't have it on a ram mount on my bigger boat because it's not going to hold the weight, but on a small electric boat, no worries. I've got a 12, this is actually my 16 Garmin at the moment, but it normally has my 12-inch Garmin off my other boat, and it's got one of the Lowrance Eagle Eyes review coming about that when I've done a few more hours on it. And it's got my live scope pole and LVS 34 off my big boat as well. So all I had to do is have a black box inside here, and all of a sudden, I've got live scope on my boat. And I've had to buy 2 live scopes. I only had to buy 1 black box and a power cable. If you look down here, it's got one of Robbie Payne's connectors. So that transducer connects with there. I've got some nav lights, live well pumps, live well timer up the front. It's a recycled Garmin 24 volt force up the front. And if you have a look under the deck here, this is all the running gear for that. This is a 50 amp hour Green Marine lithium 24 volt battery. That's the circuit breaker for the trolling motor. That's the on-off for the battery, and this is one of the Green Marine charging plugs. Get rid of the Anderson plug, says Stevie Waffham, so that's exactly what we've done. If I have a look at the end of my charger, there's the other end of one of those plugs. So my charger will plug straight in there, and away you go. Doesn't reach at the moment. Normally it sits down on the deck of the boat. There's the Garmin GLS 10 box to run it all. But what's cool about this is that motor's got its own batteries. This battery runs everything else on the boat. And this is how it does it. Even though it's 24 volts, I've got underneath here, there is a 24 to 12 volt converter. So I've got all the 12 volt stuff, pumps, lights, live wells running on that. And I've got the Garmin and I've got the motor, the trolling motor running on 24 volts. But this one here can only run on 12, so it runs through the 12 volt circuit. So one battery can give you everything you need in your boat, whether it's 24 or 12 volts. Of course, I can't use 12 volts on the Garmin Force. I thought this was a pretty cool design when I started, this nice big flat platform at the front to mount all your stuff on. And it is, although the 4 or 6 little self-tapping screws that hold it on, not good enough. First time I went out, I sort of tore half of those out. So I've put extra screws in, and I'm going to put more screws in moving forward. Once everything's in the right spot, that all gets screwed down tight so that plywood doesn't let go at the right time. I can see here there's been a bit of force from the motor. Probably needs a few more screws along here to hold it down. I've never been a pole guy for live scope, but I'm getting to like this guy here. Whenever I pull up to a fishing spot, this comes down, falls in like that, and I can adjust the height of it just by kicking it back like all of the poles guys do. If I want to see shallower, I pull back. If I want to see deeper, I push that way. And of course, left and right is just with the handle left and right. My transducer looks exactly the same direction as this handle points. Coming further back, it's pretty simple setup, this boat. This is one thing I don't really like, is how complicated it is to get the front deck back in. But if it was hinged, we'd have to have more supports under there. So I have to get under there and unisolate it once a day and then isolate it again at the end of the day. There is a seat base there that I don't use at the moment because it's not in rough water. Massive live well in here. It drains out straight out the side of the boat, so you can see that there's a drain there, and it pumps in from the other side of the boat. So that'll hold all of the fish that the tournament guys will want. And remember, the Bass Electric guys, you guys can borrow this boat for each of the tournaments this year. No one's reached out for the first event, so reach out if you want to use it. You can only borrow it once a year. Can't borrow it every tournament. Further back, I've put a couple of things. And Matt, you want to jump on this side. Here's the Rapala tool holder. Uncle Timmy set me up with that one. So I've got a couple of sets of pliers in there, fish grips if I'm holding teethy things like jewfish, and of course one of the Tackle Titan lure holders. These are magnetic. If you haven't seen them, they're pretty cool. They hold my lures there so they keep them out of the way, and I'm not going to sit on them. If I have 2 people sitting in the boat, one will sit on that side and the lures will be on this side because I sit on this side here. I've put in the junction box, has sat right here. Your legs actually go over that. I didn't have a space to put that underneath the deck, but it actually sits really well there. I can turn it on and off right here. And I did have some fancy mounting for that Lowrance. I had it on a Kong mount, too much movement in it, couldn't mount it on that aluminium well enough, so it's just got screwed straight to the seat. That does my side imaging, and it works at full speed. It's a side image, and also my 2D and also my mapping. One of the things I didn't like about the boat was this. This was screwed in this panel, and if I wanted access to the bilge of my batteries, I had to unscrew it and take it out. So I put a couple of hinges in there, so now I can get access straight to where the batteries sit. Now, the cool thing about the design of this whole Avator system is that these batteries fit in a standard fuel tank locker. So this is designed for a normal fuel tank. I can fit 2 on that side, and if I want, these other 2 batteries which are sitting down here can sit on that other side. That'll give me a range at full speed of around 20 kilometres at around that 14 to 15 k's an hour, which is what this runs with all of the stuff in it. Typically though, I just leave those 2 at home, and these 2 batteries give me everything I need for a standard day's fishing. One thing I don't really like is the charging ports on these batteries. This is the only way you sort of keep water out of them. They've got these little sort of tiny covers here, and if I ever sink this boat, I'm sure water is going to get in somehow. So it sits there. I've got a bilge pump in there, and importantly, carabiner for my life jacket. Nowadays in Queensland, need to wear a life jacket in this boat, and if I fall out of this thing, it ain't stopping. So that's going to stop that motor when I fall in, or if I fall in. So that's the only real modifications I've made to it, apart from these. Boat buckles, I'm a real fan of boat buckles. These things I have on my big boat, a little boat buckle, down it comes, but I didn't want to drill a hole through my trailer to do it, so I've tried just, got a galvanised shackle there. I've got the boat buckle there when I want to go home in the afternoon. Up she goes, hook her on, and there you go, she's ready to go. One of those each side. We'll see how that performs. If not, I'll have to make some sort of extension or drill a hole in there. I thought about mounting it on the side here and hooking over the side of the transom. That'll work as well. But I like this. I've done this before where I've had them sort of free floating. When you're trailering, they're tight, they're firm, and when they're not, they just sit out of the road like that. Launching, retrieving is really easy. I push it off and I have a rope to push it off, but when I come back, I sink the wheels to about halfway under and I just drive this thing straight on. Probably not awesome for the wrap because it chews the wrap up a little bit as it goes up, but driving it on, especially in some of the muddy ramps that I use, is pretty cool. So that's it. We're going to do I'll do a video further down the track of all of the performance stuff. I've got a few different pitch props coming for the Avator, and I think some higher pitch props will give it maybe some faster speeds. But at the moment, I love it. I've been using it a lot over Christmas since my boat's been down at the Yacht Harbour, guys. I've been using this in the local waterways, catching bull sharks out of it, catching mulloway out of it, catching bream, all of the standard things you catch here in summer, except mangrove jack. I'm rubbish at catching those. Hang around. Right next, a little bit of a preview from Yacht Harbour, and that's Tackle Fridays for the week.